Recent medical advancements has made it possible for a man to transition to a woman and for a woman to transition to a man. This is different from intersex, where a child is born with the characteristics of both the genders. This concept of transgender is so new that it has caught several people in our society off guard. Today I would like to discuss 4 reasons why conservative Christian will stand against transgender and look at the hypocrisy of those reasons. Number 1 is unnatural appearance. When God created humans, God created them as a man and a woman. And when you make this transition from one gender to another gender, you do make unnatural changes to your physical appearance. And that seems to be not right. If unnatural appearance is the only reason to stand against transgender, then I see a hypocrisy there. Because doing an unnatural cosmetic procedure or even a surgery is considered acceptable in Christian societies to maintain their appearance as young and pretty. I have seen several preachers look the same way for decades because they apply dye to look young and presentable. So if change in physical appearance is the only reason, then I see that stand is deeply flawed. Now you might say, hey, this is not an apples to apples comparison. Many parts of the gender transition is not reversible. For example, if a woman chooses to transition to a man, that woman has to go through some procedures that are irreversible. And thereby, if that person wants to transition back to a woman to bear a child, it is not possible. And going against that nature of reproducing seemed to go against the plan and design God had for mankind. And I see hypocrisy in that stand as well. Why? Because most Christians do adopt some kind of birth control mechanism to avoid having more children. And more so, even Paul from the Bible advises people not to get married so that they will not be entangled with the worries of this earth. So if not being reproductive for our own reasons is okay, then how can we stand against a transgender becoming unreproductive? And some of you might say, hey, transgender is not just the physical changes, but there is also a mental change here. A person who goes through this transition has been feeling that they are of a different gender all through their lives, and at one point they take the stand to do the transition. So as a conservative Christian, I tend to say that their feelings is deceptive. And the reason why I would say that is feelings are generally deceptive. If I go and meet a person who's feeling hopeless, I would encourage and motivate that person by saying, hey, your feeling of hopelessness is deceptive because you are valued for who you are and what you do. Many a times our feelings do not reflect the actual truth. The hypocrisy of this stand is most Christians on Sundays go to a church and they feel the presence of God. Although the Bible in no place says that you will feel the presence of God, most Christians feel that presence when they go into a church or worship or sing songs that exuberates them. If as a conservative Christian it's okay for me to feel the presence of God and say that is real, then why would we say another person's feeling is unreal? And some might say, hey, it is not just the feelings, but there is also a sin involved in that. The very thought and imagination for us to transition to another gender is sinful. And this is where we open a big can of worms of hypocrisy. My understanding of this is we have to go even deeper into the intentions of the heart. A good thought and action can be sinful because of the intention. For example, you might go and do good deeds to people, and that's nice, and you may have good thoughts about them. However, the intention behind those thoughts and action could be pride, which is sinful. So if you really want to see whether something is sinful or not, you should not just see what a person is thinking or doing. You should go to the intentions of their heart. And one yardstick that I have seen is if the intentions are I-centric, they become sinful. For example, bitterness is driven by how I am hurt. Envy, how I do not have something. Lust, how I desire something. And pride, how I have done something great. So all the sin of bitterness, envy, lust, and pride is all I-centric. Whereas the opposite of evil is love, which is not I-centric. A casual visit to a church, you will find several things that are I-centric, right from the prayer to the worship to the preaching and even Bible studies. Everything is geared towards how I will be healthy, I will be wealthy, I will be the head and not the tail, I will do miracles and wonders. You see, everything is I, and I. When there are so many things that are I-centric in you, how dare you take a stone and throw at somebody else and tell they are sinners and I-centered? If you really want to make a change in this world, introspect. Bring out the filth from inside and lay it bare outside. And as you bring out the sin from within you and lay it bare, you will start seeing clearly how you can bring your fellow citizens to the kingdom of God. Let's live our life focusing on the heart, or in other words, the soul, and bring the soul to heaven. Thank you.